Hey, greetings traders. Just wanted to drop a video after a couple of days away. Just wanted to kind of connect with everybody, talk a little bit about mindset and psychology of trading. There's a couple books that I recommend. I'm going to put them in the link in the description here. The Disciplined Trader by Mark Douglas, and also Trading for a Living by Mark Douglas as well. So those are two of my favorite books on the subject. um, Alchemy of Finance, but that's uh, kind of a mismatch of, or a mismatch of philosophy along with trading stuff. Um, and it follows George Soros and kind of his story and his thoughts. But that's a little heavier. But I fell in love through that stuff. To be honest, man, I really like um, the aspects of discipline and the idea that you can kind of come up as a trader based on your mindset, based on how disciplined you are, how you're able to kind of take positions based on what you see on the charts versus how you feel inside, and letting emotions or recent wins, recent losses, that type of thing affect you too much. Um, with my online stuff, or I'm sorry, on screen video recordings where I'm going through the pairs, I want to start getting a little bit more in depth, kind of talking about potential targets. I've already been doing that, but really drilling down and saying, okay, this is a trade or this is a B trade. I had a really good talk with a friend of mine yesterday, um, a trader here in Austin, who was saying he's been struggling with consistency. And, we all have at some point, and it's just part of the journey, obviously, right? Um, but one of the things he said, he doesn't, he's trying to figure out how to, sit and kind of write out his trading strategy, being able to present that to somebody, write it out on paper, explain it easily, quickly, and the whole nine yards. So I'm doing that exercise with him. And one of the things he said is, I don't know if I'm saying, sometimes I do this way, the entry's based on this, and it's kind of subjective type of thing. Because that happens, especially when you're brand new. So one of the first things I kind of equated that to is no different than sports again. It's a baseball player being able to hit a 95 miles per hour or 100 mile per hour fastball. Before you can hit it, you got to be able to see it. And I think in trading, it's the same way. You want to practice and get really, really good, either through, well, mostly through back testing. Back testing is the truth, man. Anybody, the guy that I followed and got the most out of early was Irek Piekarski when it comes to like actually putting on trades and stuff. Um, and he was huge on back testing. I do remember that. So when I think about back testing and how important that could be for developing yourself, developing your confidence, and developing your strategy, that's a huge one. But what you do is you'll want to go and back test the strategy and be able to tell an A version of it uh, and an A plus version of it. So you want to get really tight into the intricacies of what makes this an A plus, what makes that an A, what makes it a B, what makes it an F setup, so that you don't even want to touch it, and have like concrete examples of those and understand the difference. That's the huge key. When I look at a chart, I can understand the difference between an okay setup and a really good setup. And then also the ones that stand out are the A pluses, and really knowing, hey, everything's lined up for me. I'm going to take this risk. Um, Still at 1%. Starting out, it needs to be just 1-to-1 ratios, or I'm sorry, one to whatever ratio. So I'm risking one to make two or three or four, whatever your strategy usually um, can give you. And another piece right there, I just went over, understanding your risk metric and your average versus your better than average versus your stellar setups when it comes to risk reward. Um, a lot of the strategies I learned in Infinite Prosperity early, they talked about 1-to-1 being like, a good measure and a good consistent base hit type of trade over and over. And then they started calling like a 2-to-1 and a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, or like hyper moves, I think is what they call them. I don't know if it was a 2 or a 3-to-1 where they started calling it a hyper move, but essentially you're making 3 times as much as you're risking on that, right? Or 4 times more, or 5 times as much as you're risking, just depending on the setup. So I kind of want to go into depth on that whenever I'm on the charts, show you if I'm thinking it's um, a big move, a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, or even better, which I've been there before when I'm trading this pyramid reversal strategy. And you're going to start seeing that link appear in the description for the pyramid reversal strategy. I'll put that out when I'm ready and confident in it. And it'll be like a little PDF for you to go look at my own strategy and say, okay, I understand how he's doing that. And you can follow it. It's not a secret. It's similar to the Lewis Markham method that's taught in Infinite Prosperity, and it's also similar to Irek's combo method. I don't know what he calls it nowadays. I think he's changed it or named it something else in his newest course. But I haven't taken his newest course yet, so I don't know. But the strategy is the same. It's just refined, just tighter. I'm sure over time, like anything, you get better, tighter, more refined. It's kind of like, anything. The iPhone, the first one, was dope conceptually, and then they built off of it. Uh, According to some, they didn't build very much off of it, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, so I just want to add the quality of saying, okay, whenever we have a profit target, we have multiple profit targets. Let's get into that. Um, let's get into price action dictating what we do when we exit, type of thing. Let's also go over stop loss and when we get out, because I like to cut my losses short. I don't wait for them to hit that full 1% loss most of the time. Um, and then, I need to develop on my own to have better entries. The only entry that I'm really, really confident in and love using is the pivot entry. I don't like live entries because I've found that that's a source of anxiety, and for me it's rough. So this is growing process, man. Like I said, I've blown my options account because I started playing big, and you know, I really didn't learn the ropes as good as I probably needed to before going live there. I was really ready for Forex, but I didn't feel like my account was big enough to trade Forex. It was a mistake. And we all, as traders, make mistakes based around dollar amount and not necessarily the soundest decision uh, from a business standpoint sometimes. So, anyways, there's more to come. There's tons of that. And check out the links. Get that Tradingview, get that charting package. It's free. Go ahead and get linked up there. The description's there. Try out that Infinite Prosperity, those first couple courses at least, and then get a full membership when you can. They should have some kind of holiday special thing going on, but that course put me from a guy who understood what Forex was, but didn't really have a tight understanding of risk management or strategy or the reason why those strategies worked. And it kind of turned me into this guy who understood how to do that, how to backtest, how to take high probability trades, how to only trade my setup. Um, I evolved because of that course, and I'm even on there. At the bottom, if you go to the landing page where you sign up, you go to the bottom, you're going to see Jordan Hill, and you're going to see my Facebook image where I'm in the trees or whatever in the redwoods in Cali. And you're going to see that it says that I leveled up through that. And I really did. And then Irek Piekarski's involvement, of course, just kind of took it to the next level. And now I'm teaching, um, because the last time I taught a guy who came and did my Wi-Fi when I moved here to Austin. and he saw my charts and asked me what I was doing. I told him I was trading, and he said he was interested but never got a chance to get started. I told him to come through, and he came for 3 months every Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, and now he understands the setup. And through doing that, I got crystal clear on the pyramid reversal strategy. Is what I'm calling it right now. I might change the name. I don't know if I really like that, but that's what I do. I trade that strategy, and a lot of it was because of when I taught Joseph. So I just wanted to stay in that same vein. Y'all have a good weekend. I'll be back Monday with more videos. Peace.